This is what makes that specific author different from the other. So this is one of the advantages of an H-index. So H-index helps us to compare the output of the researcher who are at their similar stages in their career. The next thing, H-index is right now the only way to combine the productivity and impact in a single factor. Then, coming on to the next thing, there are even some of the disadvantages of an H-index. So first of all, if we want to compare two of the researchers, then we cannot do if they are both of the we if they both of the of the different field. Like one, you have a scientist who is doing a research in medicine, and there is someone who is doing the research in some other field. So in this case, if you want to compare both of them, whose field is whose field is different, then at this case you cannot use an H-index. One more thing, you have an article which had like 10 or like 5 to 10 of the to 10 of the two of the authors. Now if any what we say, if you get any of a citation on that article, then it helps to improve the index of all of those authors. So like if you have written an article which has like 5 to 10 authors and it gets a citation, and those citation will help to improve the H-index of all of those authors. So this is the second disadvantage of H-index. Third, it tells you nothing about the science or the ideas behind a researcher's achievements. Like I am doing my research in the wireless sensor networks. So my and there is another one who is from the same field. So this H-index will tell me nothing about what is that contribution or what is that idea that that specific person has used in this thing. So this is one another disadvantage of H-index. Now why H-index is important? There are specific reasons for this. It can get what now? It can help you to get a promotion. One second. I really don't know what's going wrong. So it will help you to get a promotion. It will help you to get the memberships for various science organizations, and it will also help you in getting a research grant. So these are the various ways in which H-index is also going to help you, and it is important. The next thing is it helps the people who are not experts in your field to understand what you have achieved. See, I meet a scientist who has a very nice H-index. So I may not so if that person has a higher or nice of the H-index, so this will help me to understand ki, okay, this person has done very nice work in his or her own field. So this will help us to get this understanding. Now, coming on to the tips to improve the H-index. Now, in this part of the session, I'm going to share some of the tips with you that will help you to improve your H-index if by the case right now it's not so very good. So, first tip is that you should focus on writing the better quality papers. See, work everybody does. it's good that you have done so much nice work. It's good that you have actually achieved this. But if you're not able to present that work in the form of a paper in a nice way, then it is not going to help you so much. So in this, I would like to suggest you to write better quality papers, because this will give a kind of understanding that the work you have done is actually good. Now, the second thing that you need to do here is work on the hot topics. Why? See, if you are working on some of the topic that is not very very hot, not very very new, a very less people work on that. So there are very very less chances that you will get a citation. So your h index is closely related to how many citations you get on your manuscripts. So if you're working on a hot topic, so it will get more citations, and it will be read by more and more people, and it will ultimately improve your h index. So this is the second thing that I wanted to share with all of you, is to work on hot topics, since it helps to improve your h index. The third way is what? You need to publish your articles in a high quality journals. Why this thing is said like this? That when you are publishing your article in a high quality journal. So what makes a simple journal different from a high quality journal? It is who reads that journal. So if that journal has a good quality, if that journal has a higher impact factor, so this means that many people are reading that journal. So if you will get your article published in that journal, so this will automatically improve the visibility of your article. So more and more people will actually read your article, and this will improve or increase your ways of getting a citation, and ultimately it will improve your h. Now, the next thing is to choose best keywords. How? So, whenever your article comes online, it gets included into various databases. Now, when I am going to search for an article, so how that database will segregate those things and bring them to me. It will do that stuff on the basis of three things. First is the title, the second is the keywords, the third is the abstract. So here the keywords play an important role. Like I have written an article on yoga. Fine. Now I want to. So I also have a keyword of yoga. So what will happen? So whenever anybody searches for an article on the basis of yoga, there is a higher chance that my article comes in the front. It comes in front of that person, which improves the possibility of that person reading my article, and ultimately my article getting a citation, and finally improving my h index. So this is the reason why you need to choose the best keywords for your article. The next thing is what? Is to present some part of your work in a conference. So what happens if you do so? It is normally said that we should not go for a conference, and we should only try to go for a journal publication. But I will suggest you what, that from that whole work that you have done, try to put some part of your work in a conference. What will happen in a conference? If you will go specific and good conferences, there you will meet people who are of the same field, who are doing work in the same field as yours. So this will improve your visibility. More and more people will come to know that okay, this person is doing this kind of work in this field. So this will ultimately help you. And moreover, when you try to go for a journal article or journal publication, your article comes online, it takes a time of like 1 to 1.5 years. But for a conference, it comes online in 5 to 6 months. So the faster it will come online, the faster others will be able to read your work, and they might also cite your work. And once when you get a citation, it will ultimately lead to improving your H index. So this is how this is how presenting your work in a conference will help you to improve your H index. Now the next thing is, talk to the researchers about your work. How? See, you went to a conference, you talked to so many persons about your work. Okay, this is the kind of work that I'm doing. So they will come to know that okay, this person is doing some kind of work, this kind of work, and they will be more aware ki, okay, this person is doing. And the next time they want to do some kind of similar work, they might actually refer to your article, which will ultimately give them a citation, and it will help you to improve your H index. So this is how the things work, and it is actually going to help you to improve your H index. Now coming on to the next things, write with more mature writers. How this thing can help you? See, when you have include the name of a researcher in your article, they also read your work when you have to send it to any conference or to any journal. So on the basis of that, they might be able to share some things with you. They might be able to improve your work, right? And also your article will get added in their own profile. So you will not only get the help on the basis of their experience, but their name will also help you. So that's why it is always advisable to write with more mature researchers who have experience in this field, who can actually guide you that how to do this thing. The next step is to cite your past works, if it is needed only. Don't go to just blindly citing the works that you have done in the past. If that work that you have done in the past is actually related to the work that you are doing now, then only in this case try to cite your past work into the present work, if you find it actually relevant. Now coming on to the next step, write a good explanatory session. Because we often come across to some of the articles that have explained that concept into very good way. So we keep those articles with us, so that in future if we want to learn something, we can refer to these articles. So that's why it is said, hey, write a good explanatory session, so that others also will refer to your paper, for an in-depth explanation. So this is the one of the tip that I would like to share with you. Because see, if they will refer to your paper for an in-depth application, so in future they would be taking your manuscript with them. They would be referring to it, and finally there is a higher chance that you will be getting a citation for this paper for yourself, and this will ultimately help you to improve your H-index. Now coming on to the next part is to help others in their work, and if possible co-author their publications, because this will help you in so many ways. See, if others have done some work and you also have contributed them in their work in a very nice way, so if that article gets any citation and you are also a co-author in their work, ultimately you will also get a citation, and it will ultimately help you to, or you also, to improve your H-index. So coming on to the next things is to publish in open access journals. Why? See, when you are trying to publish in an open access journals, your article is easily accessible to others. It is easily read by others, and since others can read it in an easy way, so there are higher chances of your article to get a citation, and ultimately it will help you to improve your achievements. Next thing is to put a detailed research data in your paper. See, I want to do a work. I want to do some kind of work, and for that, I will refer to some of the research papers. Since I want to get an idea, ki, how to do this work and how to get an idea about doing this work. So for that thing, I will just refer to some of the papers who have done a similar kind of work, and this will ultimately help me. So so this is why I'm saying, try to put a detailed research data in your paper, and this will ultimately help you. So now coming on to the next way, and the next thing is to promote your work on on the social academic websites like Academia, ResearchGate, LinkedIn, all of this stuff. Now, how this thing can help you? You need to understand this. You have published a paper. You put about that paper on these sites like Academia, ResearchGate, or LinkedIn. So those who are following you on these sites will again have an idea ki, okay, this person is doing the work in this field. Like I know some persons who are specifically working in the field of wireless sensor networks. So I just go to their profile and I see what what this person has been doing in the past. So I may be referring to that person's work when I need to have an idea about what work to be done and how work to be done. So this will ultimately improve your visibility. Also, it will tell others ki, okay, this kind of work is being done by this person. So they can just refer to this person's work if they want that kind of work in this field. So that is why it is important to promote your work on these kind of websites. Now, some tips that I would like to share with all of you, which will actually be useful to you. First of all, don't be shy. See, when you are in your PhD, when you are in your MTech, when you are doing your research work, we are all just trying to learn. We have come here to learn how to do this kind of work, how to do this kind of research. We have come to learn. It's okay to make mistakes at this point of time. It's okay. It's totally fine. So don't be shy. Just, ask for help. If you have done something wrong, it's totally fine. It's okay to ask for help. It's totally fine. It's okay. Fine. So don't be shy. If you want to take help from somebody else in your lab who has been doing the work in the similar kind of field or something like this, just don't be shy. Just ask them for help. Even if it's your guide, even if it's someone from your own lab. The second thing is names. They matter. If you have the name of a very good scientist in your work, so what does this show? That this person also has contributed in this kind of work. So this will ultimately help you also, because if a person who is renowned and respected by others is also a part of your work, so this ultimately makes your work more and more authentic. So names, if you have the names of some persons in your article, those who are good in this field, it will ultimately going to help you. So names matter. So the next thing is poster session. So I have just 10 minutes to finish this, since this is a Zoom session. Okay, so the one thing that I want to share here with all of you is that poster session is magic. Whenever you go to a conference and that conference has a poster session, just take part in that. Just go there, make a poster of your work, show it there. Why? See, you are there in that poster session. You have been saying ki, okay, so this is the kind of work that I have been doing. Tell me. So they will analyze your work. Those who have come, they will analyze your work. They will ask you some of the questions. Okay, you have done this work. How you have done this work? What was included in this? And there is a higher chance that they will give you some of the ideas that would have not been come into your mind, or they would point some of the flaws in your work that have not came to your mind. So this will ultimately improve your work and give you more and more ideas. So poster session is actually magic. It not only improves your visibility of your work, but also gives you a chance for your work to be exposed to others. They can analyze your work. They can tell you ki, okay, this can also be improved, or this work can also be done in this way, something like this. And this will ultimately help you in order to improve the kind of work that you are doing and the things in your work. Now, I'll be taking some of the questions that you all sent me as a part of your homework. I'll be sharing the recording of this session with all of you, so that ones who have an issue with the connectivity or something like that, they can just watch the recording and just get an idea. So as a part of the yesterday's homework, you have sent me this question, that is there any relationship between H-index and publication of a research article in highly reputed journals. So I would, okay, some So I would like to clarify this with all of you, is that what H index has nothing to do whether your article is in a higher journal or lower journal. See, once when your article comes online, fine, everybody can read it once who are working in your own field. Fine. Now, how does publication in these good journals actually help? These good journals have a very strict peer review. So this will help you, they will analyze your work and they will give you the tips to improve your work. One thing. The second thing that these have is that they have a very big amount of people who actually read those journals. So this takes your article to many of these. So these are the additional advantages that publication of an article in these journals give. So if your work is not so good, it is anyhow not going to get any citation. So even if your work is in a not so good journal, but your work is good, so it will give you a citation and ultimately help you to improve your HFX. What is so this also a question came to me as a part of your yesterday's homework, that what is the exact difference between a reference and a reference. See, we, in order to do one kind of work, we read so many papers, some of which we actually use in order to write our article and some of which we don't. The ones which we use are included in the reference, and the one which we don't are included as a part of your bibliography. um, the next question some of you just sent me, that what to do if a research paper has no page number and no issue number. In this case, you need to go to the website of that journal, try to search it there, and you will ultimately get an issue number and a page number. When so the next question that came was, when we insert citation, should we give each of the sentences, or can it contain multiple sentences or one paragraph? It can contain multiple sentences. You can write some of the multiple sentences and still like get a citation. So this brings us to the day two, to the ending of the day two. So I have a little bit of homework for all of you, which I would be happy if you would be doing. So this is not compulsory, but I would feel nice if you would be doing this. I want you to answer some of the questions. Try to write them in the comment section of the YouTube live session that we were having. The first one is that, why is H-index important for you? I want to know this thing from all of you, that why is H-index important for you? Please tell me, why does it matter to you? Why does it mean to you? The next thing, as a part of this session, I shared so many tips with you which will help you to improve your H-index. Which amongst those tips would you like to put up, use, or deal with in your own life? Just tell me that which of them has actually helped. The third is, how is H index different from the I-10 index? So these three are the questions that are a part of your homework. So if you want to just answer them, just write them in the comment section of the YouTube live video. And if you have any questions, just put it in the comment box and I will be taking them. If I could not take them in this session, I would be answering all of your questions on the WhatsApp group. Since I have opened it right now for all of you, I would be answering all of your questions there. This Zoom meeting is about to end in a 1 minute since cause of the time limit. So if any of your doubts are there, please just put it in the comment box. If not, I will be answering them in the WhatsApp group. I will be answering all of your questions. So with this, I just end the day two of this 2 day seminar. I'm really sorry for all the technical faults that happened there. I really don't know what went wrong, but we had to shift from YouTube to the Zoom session. So, are there any questions in the comment section, comment box? Okay, I'm waiting. If not, then it's fine. Then we can just end the today's session. And I'm really thankful to all of you who just gave out your time and came for this session. I'm really thankful. And this brings us to the end of the day two of the 2 day seminar, on where we talked a lot of things about what is, and things and all of that. So this Zoom meeting is about to end. If any of you has any doubt, just put it in the WhatsApp group. I'll be sharing those things with you, and I'll be sharing recording of this session with all of you. I will upload it and send it to you.